Hello guys and welcome to Tech and Pics. I am your host Carl Magno, and before we get into it, don't forget to visit the social media links which are coming up on the screen right now, and they're also in the description below. Don't forget to like and to subscribe to this channel. Let's just get right into it. Today we have a picture that was only made possible by the A6000's very fast burst rate, and we have this picture today, and this picture was taken with the Sigma 30mm 1.4 DCDN. It's a fantastic lens. Sometimes it misses focus. This picture was taken at 1/1250th of a second. It is very fast, but unfortunately the sharpness of this picture was not made possible because of the issue with the Sigma. So before we get into it, I want to go down and I want to activate the chromatic aberration removal and pop this up to about 9. So now anything that was in the vicinity of chromatic aberration will not be there anymore. Now we can get directly into modifying the picture, and we are going to leave up the brightness just a little bit, and that looks fantastic. We're going to pop up the contrast just also a little bit. We are going to bring down the highlights because we are going to bring out the sky here, and the shadows, we're going to lift the shadows because the grass here on the bottom is too dark. We're going to make it all visible. We're going to make it really colorful today. And we are going to bring down the whites because we still want to bring out the details of the sky, and we're really gonna pump that sky out, and you'll see that in a short while. We're gonna raise up the clarity because this is my favorite slider. It really brings out the depth of the picture, but just be careful to not overdo it because then it starts creating halos around the images and it gives it this very fake HDR effect. But this is the way I like it, and that's the way it's going to stay. So by raising the secondary here, the tone curve, by raising the highlights here, it brings out a little bit more of the vividness of the sky, and it actually brings out the clear-cut details of the clouds right there. This will be useful later whenever we start working on the levels. I want to now crop this also, because after seeing the shot, I want a little bit less of the sky, a little bit less of the grass. So to give the picture a sense of how like the motorcycle is really high, I'm going to leave less grass and more sky. Let's see how that looks. That looks fantastic. Maybe want to crop in the sides just a little bit, just a tad. Bring that over to the middle just like that. Put the bike directly in the middle. Dirt bike, sorry, please don't send me an email. And now we will bring up the vibrance just a little bit. We just really want to bring out the colors that are there now. That looks fantastic. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work with the colors. Now we see here that it's darker here and lighter here. Let us choose a different tone in blue, more true to the realistic sky. We want more of a that's a little bit too bright, a little bit darker. There you go. That looks like it could look exactly how the sky actually looks. I like that. I really like that. The greens we want to make it a little bit more, there we go, a little bit more darker green, even though it probably is, that's pushing a little bit too much. That's probably really what it looked like that day, but no, I want to bring it up a little bit. I want to make the greens a little bit more intense. I want to just really highlight everything in this picture. That looks great. Let us now work with the saturation. Now I'm not going to overdo the saturation for the grass because that looks already good enough. But let us try with the saturation of the sky. And I just noticed that on the lens, I don't know if these dots here, you see that? I don't know if these two dots here are probably from the sun. The sun is literally right there, and that's probably reflect the internal reflections from the glass. But you know what? Lightroom makes it easy for us to remove these kind of things. Does it even look decent? No, you know what? That's way too distracting. So what we're going to do now is we're going to remove these two spots. Lightroom makes it easy peasy to just remove that. Looks for the best available spot. Give it a second to do its work. That actually looks good. Let us try the second spot. Let's see how it looks in the grand scheme of things. That looks good. You would never know those spots. Now the spots are completely gone, and that is the one thing that I like about Lightroom. It makes it really, really easy to remove things. One thing that really is bugging me just a little bit is this black tube sticking out of the ground right there. I would love to remove it, but I don't know how this is going to work. I don't even know if this is going to look good at all. Maybe let's make this a little bit bigger, like that. Not going to promise anything. See what the computer does. So guys, what I have actually discovered here is that I never really paid much attention to this, but actually there are two ways that I approached removing this. When you click on the spot removal, now I'm going to sound stupid for saying this, but there is a clone and there is a heal. A clone just simply copies one-to-one the one area into the area that you select, while the heal tries as best as possible to actually make it so that it fits. It heals it as if it was like an open wound. And you see that it actually has done a very, very decent job. We can see if we can maybe move this area a little bit just to make that better. Right there. That looks like it could be a clear line. And that's great. Completely remove the tube. And from this distance here, you would never even see that one spot. Guys, that is fantastic. I cannot believe I just discovered this. I feel like such a newbie when it comes to these kind of things, but I am discovering things every day. So on to the next step. So what we're going to do now is we are going to just go down to the sharpness. Now I don't know how much if the sharpness will actually affect something, and if you look here, you can see that some digital pixels here that are actually from the color. A little bit too much color. We will get to that right after the sharpness portion. The sharpness, of course, brings that out even more. So that's something you really have to be careful with. Usually bring up the sharpness to about halfway, the radius also slightly under, and the detail, if you really want to make it detailed, then you just go up there and you can just sharpen it. Let's see how that looks. That looks great. That really, really looks great. It's not going to get any better than that. If you really go in there and you look at the pixels really, really close, then you're like, oh look, you can't really make out the detail. That looks horrible. But honestly, that is way more than acceptable, and that actually looks great. I'm just going to go to the colors here. I'm going to bring down the saturation of the blue just a little bit, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go up here and pump down the blue temperature to it, bring it down a little bit. So that looks great. Now what I want to add is a little bit of vignette around to bring focus to the motorcycle here, the rider and his motorcycle. The thing is, I want to mess with this because it looks good, but it's a little bit too cut. I want to raise up the feather so it gives it a little bit of a nice, because here it was too much of a clear-cut line, but as you can see now it cleaned up the line here. I'm going to upload this full quality to the Flickr below, link in the description. Take a look at it, full quality. Let me know what you think. Do you guys also use a Sigma 30mm 1.4? How do you find it? Do you have the same issue with focusing? The focusing is fast. The quality of the pictures are amazing, actually. But the only thing is that the focus is not all the time spot on. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and check out my social media links, which I will be posting links on the screen now, and they will also be in the description. And I will see you in the next video. This is Carl from Tech and Pics.